Okay, love you.
You found our show, so come on in and take a seat. Warrior class, we got the keys. Ding, 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 ding. To get you where you need to be, just study our show, and you're gonna grow like crazy. Watching you will see. Ding, 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 ding. Warrior class, we got the keys, just watch our show, 'cause it's for you and your babies.
Welcome to Warrior Class,
where the teachers whip ass.
And you will too if you pass.
All right, this is
Family.
Sparring for Injuries During a Disaster episode.
The demonetized edition.
Yeah, we're waiting for folks to come on in.
Come on in, family.
It was 5 watching. It just went down to 3. So I guess Muzz, when you said demonetized edition, they like, I'm out. And now the numbers building back up. So Black Liberation Media has been permanently demonetized. It's been announced by everybody. A letter will be going out. There was a meeting on it. I didn't make the meeting. As you can see, I'm in a sling because my collarbone was broken. So, and that was the idea of doing the caring for injuries during the disaster episode.
Which is a great subject.
Yeah, bro.
Great topic.
You know, the one point that I want to make, not dealing with the monetization thing, I'm not dealing much with that at all. But, I will say one thing, but surviving isn't just about kicking and punching. So, you know, a lot when we do something about, you know, using a knife or elbowing or kicking, punching, it'll be 100 some views in there, like right now, you know, that kind of thing. It's a thing I'm looking at up there. It indicates how many people are viewing right now, right? When we do things like this, or talk about streets and roads and things, it gets a lot less views. For the family out there, don't create a narrative of what survival is and you really don't know.
Yep.
Just rock with us for a minute and learn. Because you can learn to do every kick, punch, use 3 swords at one time, all kinds of shit. But your ass ends up drinking water from a stream, and you don't understand that water is not like watching on TV when people do it all the time. Your ass end up with dysentery and you die. Or you're so weak, you can't stop when people come and just take your bag and leave with it.
You're in the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time trying to get out. You ain't got your phone. You can't understand by the signs in the street.
Like, you don't even know how to move. So there are things that are important, that's more important than kicking and punching. If I got to use this or even use this blade here, then I've gotten to the last resort, or even a pistol. I'm at the last resort because there's so much more to learn when you never have. I don't say never. It's rare that you have to use physical violence in your self-protection. Okay. 56 years old. The last time I used physical violence in the protection of myself or someone else, trying to think, so I'm being honest. It had to be less than 10 years ago. I mean, more than 10 years ago.
Right.
Okay. And I'm happy that I want to say more, but I probably end up lying if I say more. But I know at least 10 years. And I'm not talking about having to speak to a person a certain way so you don't have to use violence is another form of avoidance, by the way.
Right. I'm trying to think. Should be about 10 years for me too, at least.
Yeah. So that's a big part of training. If a person tells you, I whoop ass every week, they have some poor training, because that means they ain't training on the mental aspects at all.
Right.
Or they're nut. So, it's important to pay attention to other stuff, and I always talk about how we can have all these techniques and all these guns and all this, but you don't train with it, so you don't really know how to use it. Or you don't know how to prepare food during a disaster. I remember people who trained with me calling me during COVID when it was shut down, saying the craziest shit because they didn't know what to do. That means they were in panic. When somebody calls you and says, hey, proudly, and say, hey, I just got 56 rolls of tissue. And I say, well, and a lot of people were doing that. And my wife asked me when she said, why are so many people just buying tissue? What's going on? I said, when you see that, you're seeing panic. That's what you're seeing. And a person who's panicked is in chaos. They don't know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just doing what they see everybody else doing. Everybody buying tissue. I'm buying tissue because the tissue going to be gone. You must have a big ass if you need 56 rolls of tissue.
It's not even that much tissue, actually.
56 rolls is actually, it's a lot when you buy that before you buy canned food.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Buy that before you buy water. The person who told me that, I said, why in the F did you do that? And you're in the store right now? Check to see if the water's there. Check to see if there are canned goods there. Check for those things. Do you have a bag? A backpack to put shit in? Mm-hmm. On that too. Like, subscribe, and some people say, buy us a coffee, buy me a backpack. Not my 10-day bag is good. My get home bag is broken. We were at an event a few weeks ago. Me, Belay, and Kunle secured the event. And somebody there snatched off the zipper thing. So I couldn't open the bag. I had to pull the bag open.
Mm.
And so it's permanently broken now. So all my stuff, I got a first aid kit in there.
I wonder how it broke off. You may be able to put it back on the
no, it's completely torn. The pieces. I couldn't put it back on. So Balagoon needs a bag.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all give me a bag. I would appreciate that. Don't get me a tactical looking bag. It should
no
be
camouflage.
No camouflage or olive drab.
Mm-hmm.
It could be plain black.
Like, what about SpongeBob?
It can be SpongeBob as long as it's got a lot of pockets and it's made of a strong material. I don't want no plastic and shit that
right.
Elementary school.
Okay. Because I got this nice Hello Kitty bag.
Adult sponge bag. SpongeBob bag.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, something.
Leather.
So our day would rock something like that back in the day when he was in high school. It'd be an adult SpongeBob on there, heavy material. That'd be dope. So you could do that. Like he gave me some Converse. I gotta start wearing them too. That's got Rick and Morty on there.
Mm-hmm. That's totally fresh. Like I said, that's much better than my Hello Kitty bag that I got. You know
and if y'all can get me a bag, no Paw Patrol swear, but you can get me if you get me a backpack that's got Pickle Rick on it from Rick and Morty. Pickle Rick is the best animation character ever made, and I say cool.
Oh wow!
I'm Pickle Rick.
A high recommendation. So,
Rick is a scientist on Rick and Morty, right? He's a I won't say evil, but he's immoral. But he turned himself into a pickle. And then his family left, so he's like, oh, no, I'm in danger, right? So he rolls off. He gets himself into the sewer some kind of way. He's such a genius, though. He's a pickle. But he takes over a rope some kind of way. He's able to move his body and stuff as a pickle. And so he uses the roach to move him. And then he's able to build other things using the roach's limbs and stuff like that, where he gets himself, he builds explosives and all kinds, gets himself out of the sewer. It is the way to do it is brilliant.
Peace, Chad.
And I'm Pickle Rick. So
Peace, Sweary, and Manifesto. I Manifesto, excuse me, Emmanuel Breeze, Joshua Ingram.
So a good.
You don't want it to look too tactical though. That's
as long as it doesn't look tactical. As long as and the reason why you don't want to have a tactical bag is because shit falls down. They see you walking around rocking the tactical bag, and you got a boonie hat on. Camouflage. They're gonna be like, he got the shit, and they're gonna take that. They're coming for you. Exactly. They're coming for you. You can say, "Well, I'm ready." All of them. No, not you. Not really. If people get desperate enough, they get real creative in setting their traps and ambushes. So get you some shit that looks normal. I remember the first bag I got, me, she was about 12. I'm talking about a bag that had her when we did the camp. It was a bag that had flowers on it. It was heavy duty, but they got flowers. So you see that bag, you think it's just, little girl got a cute little bag on. You don't know that she's got survival equipment in there. Okay, so if you give me a Hello Kitty or a Paw Patrol that's heavy, I'm with it. It might look strange seeing a grown man rocking Paw Patrol though.
They're gonna think you got baby supplies, so they're gonna probably try to attack you. So don't get them that either, y'all.
They'll say, "Hey, my baby need."
You know what I mean? A bunch of women be chasing Bobby everywhere, thinking he got Pampers, and we don't need that.
I don't need no women doing the apocalypse chasing me now.
Y'all are going. Now me, you might want to. Never mind. So, real quick, but I gotta.
The worst, I get my ass whooped, and then the apocalypse. It stopped that day, and then the news come out, and I'm just all whooped up by by a bunch of sisters who thought I had a goddamn diaper. And they leave me the bag because it got all these supplies in there.
Yeah, they don't care about that. They thought you had hair. They thought you had hair weave and stuff in there. Yo, man, did you see that was ridiculous? Quick news. I didn't want to even mention that, but that was ridiculous. The beauty supply store went out of business up the street. They put all these stuff on. If you know, beauty supply stores that don't just have hair, they got bags and clothes and stuff. So the word got out quick because it was, up there in Upper Riverdale, Ontario. Do you realize the police wouldn't let nobody get it, and I guess the owners elected to throw it all away versus let the public have it?
That's insane.
That's what lets you know how they feel about the people who live around that store that they were servicing in the first place.
I just want to say that I believe that this is a black-owned place, and this is elitism. And you know what I'm saying? Basically, what it is. But real quick though, I want to put this in too, so we don't say the wrong thing. I believe the owner died.
Oh.
So the family, I guess, or who was ever in charge, elected to throw everything away versus give it to the people.
The family probably never lived around there. It was around there. They probably lived in a nice area. So
yeah, that's just ridiculous. Still, regardless of what happened, I mean, give it away to the people.
I went into Borders Books. I had the idea of, I know that bookstores, they throw away books, they throw away magazines after, a while. They ain't sold the magazine, like for the next month, they throw it away.
Right.
I said, hey, do y'all send these back to the publishers? They say, no, we toss them. I said, well, can you give them to me? I'll give them to the homeless. The magazines, all the magazines up in there, I'll come pick them up. They said, no, and the books you don't sell, or you take. They said, no, we tear the covers off. And then, now they told me they didn't send them back. They said, we tear the covers off and send them back to the publisher. I said, what? The publisher can't use that? And so a manager, that's a brother telling me that, this white manager, she comes out and says, look, it's true, we do tear the covers off, but we don't send them back to the publishers. You're right. The publishers can't use, we throw them in the dumpster.
Yeah. The same way with school supplies.
She said, well, she said, you can go in the dumpster. We don't secure the dumpster. You can get, I said, I'm not going to no dumpster.
There's people who do that though.
If you're going to throw them in the dumpster, just give them to me.
They got so they don't. They got to do that, and the city does that. The state, with books from public schools, they have to throw them away so they can report not having. So they all this about the budget. I used to go around and collect all those supplies. I still have some from over 10 years ago. So how much they actually used to discard.
Yeah.
So
there's people who get food that way, because the grocery stores just throw out so much stuff. Like they actually go into the dumpsters.
The land of waste, man. The land of waste. I got a scenario of something I seen that happened at Kroger's today. And I want to know, I just want you to speak on average people. What should we do in this scenario? So the scenario, you're at Kroger's, you see this black male, average build, long dreads, dark skin, in the back seat of his truck. He has a child. You can't see the child, but he's scolding the child and hitting the child physically. You hear the child crying, and you hear all he's saying is "shut up, shut up." He yelling "shut up." And he punching in the car, but you can't see because of the angle. You know what I'm saying? From the side, all you'll see is him. From behind, all you see is him. So you can't see the child. You can't determine the age unless you saw him come in, or no, he hasn't gotten out the car yet. So he's fussing at the child. I guess the child poo-pooed on himself, for lack of better words, in school. So and wants to sit in the cart. So he like, no, you ain't sitting in the cart. Shut up, and start hitting him. You know what I'm saying? Look like he punching him, but he hitting him with his hand. And the child is screaming, and he said, shut up, shut up. You know what I'm saying? Shut up. What I tell you, shut up. And he keep hitting him. It lasts for about maybe 2 minutes. People are looking. You see a car stop, go. Old lady walk around, stare. You know what I'm saying? Finally, he chilled out because the old lady said something and he started cursing her out. You know, man, mind your effing business, bitch, blah, 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 blah. But somebody sitting there videoing never says anything. But they do get his tag. They said so somebody did call the police, said the police act very nonchalant about it, didn't even get a description of the man or anything, and doubt that they was going to do anything. So I know what I do, in this situation, but I like you to speak, is what you think would be the proper thing to do in this situation. Or is it a thing to do? Should we mind our business? Like the man said, mind your effing business.
Well, yeah, we should mind our business, and our people, meaning the people, should be our business. Okay.
And are you talking to? I gotta specify this, but are you talking to the Warriors, or are you talking to Sam out here that just came to get some bacon?
I'm talking to everybody.
Just
Because
want to make sure.
everybody, first of all,
Sam, listen.
this
Put the
shouldn't be a
bacon down.
different conversation for the Warriors because I'm not. It shouldn't be like you open the door, snatch the dude out. And
No,
hit
the
him
Warriors should know what to do.
So you don't hit him in his throat or no shit.
Right.
Really, the
Didn't have to be
old
violent.
woman was effective, but not completely effective. So the old woman said something to him. He stopped beating the child. Boom.
Right.
And started cursing at her. So that's cool. Direct it that way.
Right. Towards the end, he might have been about to stop anyway. He should have been tired a little bit.
Well, yeah, it should have happened earlier. He said, man, you beat the shit out of that child. You should put more work into those ugly ass locks you got in your head. Something like that, right?
Right.
He started focus on you now. What you say, mother effer, blah, blah. I said, work on them nasty ass looking locks in your head, old bitch made nigga. Right? What? I get out this car. The child's not getting beaten.
For those of you out here, you may not want to say exactly that, but distraction is what he's saying. That's what he would do. You just distract.
You can't throw hands. Get to moving. Get to moving. Now, for my white folks that's out there, don't call him no nigga.
you can if you really wanted to react.
Right. Yeah.
That was really want to react.
I tell you what, if you want me to get off somebody's ass and go to your ass,
but if you want help with other folks around you, don't use nigga.
Oh, right. Smart, Baba, because if you call him nigga, I'm not helping you once he starts stabbing you up. I'll be like, you call him a nigga. I got it.
All right. You like, oh, punk, blah, blah, blah. He gets out the car. Once he gets out the car, and he's coming at you, he's committed a crime because he's neglected the child. If you wanted to pull police in, I wouldn't pull the police in because, damn, I'm not calling. The police end up killing him.
Right.
So I wouldn't call the police. But the baby, you get him from beating the child. And then when he's mad at you, like say if it was me and you, or it'd be even more effective, me and Ominika, then Ominika say, sir, you don't have to talk to him like that to me, like you ain't with me. Then you say, brother, come on, let's all calm down, have cooler heads, because you don't want to hurt your baby. And sir, you don't want to be insulting your brother like that, something like that, to calm this damn situation down.
Distract and then de-escalate is what
Distract and then de-escalate, right. The person that caused the distraction can't de-escalate.
Right.
You just want to get him. It's got to be somebody else that de-escalates. If it's just me at the store, which I rarely travel by myself like that, but I would tell somebody else, look, what I'm about to do, you de-escalate. Give me about 5 minutes. He's going to get out of that car wanting to fight me. You bring it down, okay? You got to, if you don't know the person, you got to pray that they not crazy. Yeah, whoop his ass! You got to pray they ain't nuts. But if you with somebody that you know, get them to de-escalate. So you got to, one, pull them out of there, and the other de-escalate. But the whole thing is you get them from hurting the child.
Yeah, bro. I really felt like we need to
now,
speak.
I got a question for you, B-Lay.
Okay, throw it at me.
You with your little nephew, and they were in the car, and you with a friend of yours. You go in the store. You come back and see your friend is beating the shit out your child. Shut up! You boo-booed on yourself! Now, what do you do?
If my 18-year-old is boo-booing on herself, I might.
Well, if your 18-year-old boo-boo, you might need a little tap.
Yeah, I understand why he tapped up a little bit. All right, bro. That's
I said your nephew or somebody. That's why I said
okay.
not your child. Your child.
No. If my child, if my nephew is,
and your nephew is like 2,
and he's physically hitting the child,
beating the shit out, slapping. He ain't hitting him with the fist. He's slapping the shit out of him. Bah, you boo-booed on yourself?
I would come behind him, put him. Now, let's be honest.
Restrain.
I would. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad I'm nigga. I would restrain him by asking him, "What is he doing?" He probably won't be able to answer. Oh, but maybe when he wake up, he'll know why he did it. Hopefully, he'll find me. We can talk then once he wake up, because he'll be wherever we at. But I'm leaving him there. But I'm gonna definitely get him off of him and restrain him until he can no longer, you know what I'm saying?
No longer conscious.
Put hands on the child, because that's crazy.
So I asked that question because I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, I gave how that should be handled. I didn't give how I would handle it.
Right.
That's all I'll say on that.
Right.
But I have to think in terms. It's a difficult one because I got. Is that man's child?
Right.
If it's his child, okay, I'll probably do it the way I just talked to you.
I ain't think of that. Stepdaddy.
But
woo!
Shit. Just a friend of the family. The parent.
Oh no.
I had to snatch him about it and beat the shit out. And so, to be honest with you,
I
know that if I just get out the car and I just see this happening, I don't know who he is.
Right.
So I would have to stop him from beating the child. Though.
Right.
I remember I was in the mall once, and this mother, she's flustered. She got the baby in the stroller, and the baby just screaming, little girl. And the mother like, be quiet, God. Yeah, be quiet. You can see she's flustered. Within a second, she's probably going to tear the girl up. So I walk up to the girl, with her. And she looked. I said, So she started laughing. I said, well, why are we hollering? And the little girl was like, But then I don't know either. And so then I was walking away and the lady said, thank you. You know. So we also got to take time to do that, not just walk by. That's a little badass child.
And that's why he's the lamb, ladies and gentlemen. That's why he's the lamb. Y'all don't get it. I think we got some questions in the chat bar.
And it also highlights the fact that, we're a community. Like we're family.
Yes. We can't lose that.
None of your business.
We still 70s, 80s people. I'm sorry. That's just real.
I know. Like Baba was saying with the elder, like, I'm sure she knew that man was probably going to curse her out or yell at her or whatever. But they also know they thinking the same thing. Well, I'm going to take the heat off the baby for a second. Maybe that'll be enough time for him to stop.
Right.
So I saw this elder lady in the grocery store yesterday. And she was so dignified. You know how you just see an elder and they just be dignified. They're not trying to be like this, but their hair is just neat. They just look. She was just dignified. She walking with her cart, and these two young girls from the college, they just look sloppy. And I'll just leave it at that. They was just sloppy looking, dressed and cut. The cut with the bellies hanging out, all of that cut. So they cut her off and basically tapped her cart, hit it, and they's like, oh. And she said, oh, my bad, and kept going. And I just felt bad for her because I'm like, she probably had to, because she had to process kind of like, my bad. Like, what does that mean? Kind of like for a minute. Then she was like, she heard the energy. So she was like, you saw her eyes like, oh, okay. And kind of kept going. And I was just shaking my head, hoping the lady saw me shaking my head. Like, I know these young folks here crazy, man. But we gotta have that community feel and keep that in us, because one thing I can say, and we could leave it, when I used to do a lot of community based things in the community, whether it be giving out clothes or food or packages, whatever I'm doing, and you can talk to people if you have love in your heart for them, where other people can't. And the example I always give is, I can always get dudes to pull their pants up. I can always get dudes to pull their pants up And I don't have to signal. I can basically be like, come on, bro. God damn, you gonna do it like that? Come on, you killing me, man. This girl right here, my daughter right, you gonna do it? Come on, man. And be like, I ain't need shot. I ain't need me to do it like that, shot. It's gonna always, it's never been that, because I'm never coming as that. And that's important. I just want to mention it's the energy that you're coming on. If you got disdain,
they can feel it.
If you got disdain in your heart for this nigga,
Right.
Nigga, they can feel that.
Even if you don't say it,
other niggas, exactly,
they're gonna feel it, and you can't talk to the youth. You can't talk to nobody when that's in your heart.
You know, one of the wisest moves. I was like, damn, okay, that because somebody said something about master level strategy or whatever. I was on the bus, me and Big Mike. Y'all have trained with him, Mike Appleton.
Yeah,
we were on the bus in Chicago, and these men, they were like 20, maybe 19, 20. They got into it with this brother who was probably about 60 something. He had gotten on them about getting up for women who want seats on the bus. They're like, man, you don't know, we could be injured or something, motherfucker. Old motherfucker, you know, and it was all of that. So me and Mike was like, man, you know, if they put their hands on this man, you know, we gotta get involved. He was like, well, yeah, we just bug him up real quick. So we sitting watching, and after a while, I'm like, they just talking, they ain't gonna do nothing. And then they did be like, man, look, say something else, old man. And the dude, he had looked around and stuff. He said, y'all not gonna hurt me? You think those two young men back there gonna let y'all hurt me? He hadn't heard us say we're gonna get involved. You think those two young men, those two strong young men back there gonna let you hurt me, an elder?
That's game. That's what you call that.
And that's also, if we weren't thinking of protecting them, that pulls us into it like, shit, we gotta get involved. Otherwise, we look like some chumps. Lesson
out there to the elders, if you listen.
And I said to myself, I said, damn, he cold. To Mike, I said, he cold. You know,
that's
and
hard.
The dude, they said, oh man, it's gone. And they left it, they looked at us, they just left it alone.
And by that remind me of my dad. My dad, rest in peace. My dad used to run car houses in town where you play poker. So you you rent a house or buy a house and you play poker in the high stakes, whatever. I would always, when I come from out of town or whatever, I go to see him, I go to one of these houses. As soon as I walk in the door, because you know how poker games is, there's some shit going on. Somebody, as soon as I walk in the door, talk that shit now. Now what was you saying? What the fuck? Yo, my son here now. What? Who you gonna pay me now? You still gonna talk? What you say? I'm gonna do what now? You gonna pay me? Oh my God! As soon as I walk in, to some old man, it's a 70-year-old man down. You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna do? Mr. Charlie, please don't pay my daddy no mind. I'm not gonna fight you for that $100. You keep your. I don't care what's going on in this card game. Leave me alone, daddy. Stop that shit.
You know, my father was the head of security for this bank back home. I went to see him, so I would go see him every week. I go to the bank to see him so we can have some lunch together. And he's on the payphone. My father's on the payphone, so I'm standing there just waiting for him to get off the payphone. It's a dude there like, man, this motherfucker been on the payphone too long. So my father looked. The dude looked back at me. He said, this motherfucker. Now he not knows I look just like him. I'm just light skinned, so he just knows in the light skin that he ain't even thinking there's no relationship. Right. He said, man, this motherfucker on this old motherfucker, man, I should just fuck this motherfucker up, shouldn't I? I go, mm-hmm. And so he said, man, motherfucker, you gonna have to get off the phone. So my father said, excuse me, hold on. He said, what you say? He said, you gotta get off the phone. He said, I put this phone down. I'm gonna put you down. Right. You said, come on, motherfucker, all that shit you talking, come on. So my father said, let me talk to you later. He gets off the phone. He says, now what you saying now? What were you saying? He said, oh, motherfucker, I'll fuck you up. And so I get closer to the dude. He said, so you think that you gonna put your hands on me and we not gonna kill your ass up in here? He said, we. Then he looked at me. He looked at my father's face. Oh, shit. He ran up out the bank. He ran out the bank. I'm like, dude, And my father said, "You don't know he's about to die."
That is
I
crazy.
said, "That is crazy. That is crazy."
I was to Belay's point, I was just gonna say I have been on the bus. I mean, during a time when I didn't have a vehicle, even in between times, and have gotten young men to get up and give their seats to like older women just by looking at them.
Right.
You know what I'm
Women,
saying?
women
Like,
got that power, boy.
you don't even have to say anything. You don't have to be disrespectful or anything. All you got to do is look at them and kind of look. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you see that this elder is standing up, and they'll get up and go, you know what I'm saying, find them another seat or whatever.
We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
How you see women, if you see an injustice going on and happening, and it's a group of men around, all y'all gotta do is be like, y'all gonna let this happen? Y'all gonna let them do that to their brother? And somebody is chest is gonna puff out like this. I'm not gonna let it happen, man. And that's how it should go, if it has to. You know what I'm saying? So use what you got.
Exactly.
Hey, Bob, I want to read off a question I think our manifesto had for you. He wanted to know, are foraging skills and knowledge that turn of century folks had, knowledge that turn of century folks had, like preserving foods, living without amenities, etc., as important as bug out bags? And I'll go ahead and put bug in or bug out bags because they're two different categories.
Yeah, so the use of the bug out and bug in bag is the modern day. I don't know how to do none of this shit, so I'm gonna get the stuff that is the equivalent and I can survive off of. Okay.
Now, real quick, Bob, if I wanted to get a book that had the information about bug out bags, is there some place, somewhere, somebody that has this information about when to use the bag, what I need in it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything like that? Could you please, sir?
So you can get Surviving the Urban Apocalypse.
Okay.
By myself, or you can get Urban Self-Defense Manual.
Okay, just all right.
Myself. Those take care of that. Surviving the Urban Apocalypse, book 1 and 2. Book 2, they only allowed me to make it as a ebook. They did not allow it, and got really angry when they did not allow me to make it a print book. Got angry when I went to Amazon and spoke to a board or whatever.
I'm sorry, make a commercial.
I was talking to Bezos. I didn't know I was talking to the owner of Amazon. Damn.
We need to make a commercial about this book was not allowed to be on print, only on ebook. We gotta say all this shit.
It's because I brought it out during the time when it was.
I gotta do it. I'll do it.
When COVID-19 first appeared, and people called it the coronavirus. Well, I didn't call the disease the coronavirus. I called it Darona. D-A-R-O-N-A, Darona. And they were like, "We ain't playing with you, boy. We ain't bringing that out." So that didn't come out. Now, somebody also asked about, what happened to my wing. I think that may have been our manifesto too. My collarbone last Sunday.
Oh, yes, okay.
So that's why I'm in the sling. That's also how caring for injuries during the disaster came up. Because I was thinking, if this happened during a disaster, it would be disastrous.
And I gotta say, I'm gonna take some heat for Baba's injury, because I saw the look he gave me. He gave me the look. Baba gave me the look. I was like, all right, I'm out, Baba. He was doing the workshop, and I was like, so you gonna leave, man? You gonna leave me like this, man? We supposed to be doing this together. Baba, you know what I'm saying? You gonna be good? He gave me that look, man. Like, so that was a premonition that he had that he was speaking. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be speaking.
Well, one thing I know, if we haven't been training for a while, rust is real. We may be good enough to defend ourselves out here, but we don't have the accuracy and sharpness that we would have.
Yeah, bro, I feel you 100%.
So
Make a big difference.
yeah, so I got hit twice in the clavicle. It broke the clavicle on this side. So whenever a sling is really just to keep your arm in place so you're not moving around and doing more damage. That's all.
When you hurt your shoulder or anything like that, you need a sling.
They put a cast on your collarbone, so all they can do is sling it. You gotta be careful. I don't sleep in the sling at night. It's optional. I did the first night, and it was terrible. I really couldn't sleep. It was now I have a 1.5-year-old who loves during the night to sleep on my chest. Well, I never noticed until now that she sleeps across my arm and onto my chest. I didn't notice it. And a lot of times I have this hand on her back, patting her back, and I'm rubbing her head with this hand while she goes back to sleep. Well, I couldn't. So she's on this arm, that hurt it. And then she's up trying to play late at night. I said, go to bed. Her mother said, go to bed, lie back down. And she throws her head back and it slams right onto my motherfucking collarbone. So I'm like,
I know, I didn't mean to laugh. I just picture her head going back like that.
So it takes 6 weeks. I don't know how long it's gonna take. When they did, I had subacromial decompression on this arm. That means they cut away your whole shoulder. My shoulder was next to my neck on the right side. Many years ago, when my son, who's about to be 22, was a baby, and he headbutted me. That was on purpose. Headbutted me right here, right after the surgery. I shouldn't have been laying on the floor. I'm laying on the floor because it just felt good to my arm, but I shouldn't have been laying on the cold floors of winter, and I shouldn't have been. And he walks up. I'm on the phone with my wife. She's at work. I'm talking with her, and he walks up smiling. I said, dear, I better get off this phone. I think Ide's about to headbutt, and I just knew it, the way he looked. And we would play rough and stuff, and he, and he may have been headbutting me all the time, I don't, but when you ended, you know this shit. I knew it was coming, and he got me right there, and I just started crying. It was crazy. I said, dear, I gotta go. My son just tried to kill me. Because I'm taking oxycodone. I'm allergic to oxycodone and hydrocodone and didn't know it. So I'm having mental issues from taking it. My son tried to kill me. So he's still smiling because he thought we playing, and I'm holding him, it's okay, sir. I love you. I love you. I'm crying. My wife called back, you okay? I'm okay. I love him so much. She said, I'm coming home now.
Yeah, you would be in that child crying and shit like
that. She in the bed and stuff, and she's like, no, we got to call. So she calls like, hey, my husband is allergic to hydrocodone. He can't take. So they said, okay, we're going to send him oxycodone. So they sent me oxycodone instead.
You were super high.
I broke out from 1,000 lesions all over my body. Mm-hmm. My wife, my husband just broke out in lesions from the oxycodone. They like, stop giving it to him now. He's allergic to narcotics. Oh my God. If he continues to break out after you stop it, get him to the hospital immediately. I'm like, these motherfuckers gonna kill me.
Right.
I'm surprised they didn't try something
practicing.
So I'm allergic.
They practicing.
Right, they practicing. Okay, not hydro. Let's try the oxy. And it's like goddamn derivative of opium.
Right.
So I couldn't take that. So
like,
I can't take painkillers. Ibuprofen, it just doesn't. It's not enough for this. I
suggestion too, Bobby. You should be sleeping on the incline. I think you're gonna.
Yeah, I should. Well, I sleep sitting up, but that's hard for me too. Mm-hmm. So either I gotta be completely like in a chair sitting up and go to sleep, because I've done that. at the computer working and shit, or
Yeah.
So I can sleep like that, or I gotta be laying down. But when I'm half like on the pillow like this, that's hard for me. I do it, but I can only get like, so I've been getting like 2 hours of sleep or whatever, and then I wake up. I can't. So it's been hard, but it's just something I gotta deal with until I can get it. Even with my child, I know I got a baby. I can't not interact with her. Everything, right. You don't understand that. No, I can't hold you in my lap and we watch your shows now. I can't. So when my wife getting ready to go to her shop, now I've been carrying her out there since she was, a few months old. So when we get ready to leave now, my wife ain't got to say, baby, you going to take us outside? Okikiola, she said, we get ready to go. Okikiola come right around to me with my shoes. She put my shoes down because in her mind, nobody else going to carry her outside but me.
Right.
So I'm still doing it. So I've been doing it on this side, which is awkward. I normally carry it with my left hand. So I carry her outside, and she can walk now, but that's the thing. So I've been carrying her outside. Yesterday, jacked myself up because instinctively, everybody been picking her up and giving it to me. So my wife picked her up. I can't pick her up. I can't use her. So my wife picked her up and handed her towards my left. And I instinctively, instead of using my right, took her with my left because I had taken the sling off. I, woke up. So I didn't have the sling on yet and put her in my left hand. Oh, what? Oh, what? So that I reached under and grabbed her like that to support my hand. So I've been going through it a little bit. So that's what happened.
I want to circle back real quick and just say, Bob, I got to put some of the blame back on you because if you don't remember this, if you can recall, before class that day, you wrist locked me a couple times in front of Doc Peggins. It was exceptionally tight wrist locks. I said, shit, if this is what we doing today, I got to get out of this. I got to get out of this. I got to get out of here. My wrist could. I guess all the pain I've been doing. Oh my goodness. You wrist locked me, boy. Okay, I'm just bullshit.
I can't ask you where you're all right though, but
real quick, man.
Peace to Mumbizi, excuse me, and 40J Blaze.
Make sure you hit the like, hit that like button. We're about to get into it. Hit the likes, hit the share, subscribe, and I want y'all to contact the government of Australia, tell them they need to give Black people an apology for this breakdancing that they put out at the Olympics. I am outraged. I am appalled. I'm disgusted. I feel I want reparations from this shit. Now, I never really talked about reparations that much, but after seeing this, they owe us something. You just can't do that.
So they owe the Aboriginals.
Okay, they taking our shit. They took our culture. That's a Black American culture.
On the Olympics, everybody knows, of course, Simone Biles is doing great. There's a bunch of Black athletes doing well, but the best athlete, by none, for me in the Olympics, I think the greatest athlete, many people say Simone Biles is the greatest athlete, period, not just gymnast.
Right.
In modern history. I wouldn't argue with that, except there's one greater.
Yes.
And his name is escaping me, but
I can give it to you.
He's the wrestling gold medalist.
Yes, he is.
And that's okay, it's been wrestling gold medalist, but this brother is also 43 years old.
Yes.
He's beating young, Olympians are young. He's beating these young men in their prime. Not just from athletic skill, but from skill. I mean, athletic ability, but from skill. Okay. So he's highly skilled.
It's Majan Lopez? I think that's how you pronounce it. Or is it Mawan?
I'm not sure how you say it.
My Jane
Mike,
Lopez.
well, hold on. What's in Spanish? J is what?
It'll be Mahane. It'll be Mahane.
Mahane, yeah.
Mahane Lopez.
Yeah, somebody said Mihan, but I think it's Mahane.
Mihan. It could be Mihan sounds.
Yeah, I think it's
Mihan
Mihan.
Lopez sounds very Latin.
I mean, 43 years old. I mean, that's incredible.
He won the first one at 41, and then he won five consecutive. 5 consecutive gold. Yeah, no one has done that.
Thank you, Skeet the Petey.
And if you understand anything about wrestling, you know what type of training it requires. It's second to none as far as the cardio and what you have to put in it.
And muscular endurance.
Right, and he's 286 pounds.
Yes. He almost 300 pounds.
Big man. Big man. I would love to see him, and I'd love to touch hands with him in the just to feel what that's like. I ain't even front.
I'd rather have him in class, or at least, I may reach out to him about a workshop.
Ooh.
As our class builds back up, maybe reach out to him for a workshop. I mean, we brought a brother from Senegal, so why not?
Who just shouted us out? Who just shouted out the school in a post he put up?
Yeah. Several posts he did, and that's Big Pato from Senegal.
Shout out to Pato.
Peace, Big Pato.
Somebody said his handshake probably hurts like a mug. Yeah.
They posted on the post with that. They said, "Calm down there, bro. Simone Biles is only 27." Yeah. I don't think
I know. So
exactly.
Simone Biles says she's retiring after this Olympics.
Right.
So she will probably go to teaching after this, and of course you have people be fighting to get in their classes.
But gym. She has a gym.
So I would say, and I'm saying that because Simone Biles at 43 is not going to be doing the Olympics like she's doing right now. I doubt.
Right.
She's retiring anyway, but I doubt she'd be doing all the incredible stuff she does now that they naming 7 different techniques after her, and at 43. I'm not taking away her greatness now.
Yeah, I think she's pregnant.
No. She's in the Olympics now. She's not pregnant. They wouldn't let her compete in the Olympics.
Really? Mm-hmm. One of the fencers was pregnant that medaled.
Really?
Yeah.
If Simone Biles is pregnant and competing at the level she is, then I have to go ahead and just go and give it to her then. Because that added weight and everything. And I actually have to give it to the baby, because the baby is like, what the hell's going on? Spinning and flipping.
I can't give it to her if she's pregnant and I can't see that she's pregnant. Now, if she's pregnant, she got the full lump and she's doing the flips. Okay.
9 months.
If she's pregnant,
9 months.
Full lump, really?
If she's pregnant and ain't gained no real weight, you know what I'm saying? I can't just give it to her because she's pregnant.
9 months and win.
Yeah, she 9 months. If she got extra weight, like an extra something, she got to have at least an extra 3 pounds.
I wanted to do a book. About writing a vampire novel. I wanted to do a vampire novel and the hero be a pregnant woman. I thought about doing that, but I thought about doing it, but I don't know, because if I wrote a vampire, I don't want the glittery vampire. I don't want Blade where the vampires are just people to get their ass whooped. I want a scary shit like, oh my God, like that. That's why I like what House of Dragon has done with the dragons. Dragons are like on God level, like, oh my God, what can we do against a dragon?
Right.
Well, people would be like that. What can we do against a vampire? It's faster, stronger. It can, it can do all kinds of different magical, mystical things. You can, what you gonna do? But You got mother doing karate, just beating the vampires now. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. So I want the vampire. You kick a vampire and just snatch your foot off.
Who beat the vampire with karate, mama? Who beat the vampire? I don't even want to know.
There's a movie, and he talked about it by Ron Hall, Vampire Hunter. He put the vampire's ass with kung fu.
Hey, shout out to Ron.
There's Mr. Vampire, a Chinese kung fu movie where they fighting with kung fu.
Wow.
So there's several ninjas versus vampires. So martial arts, like I guess martial arts in Chinese movie, when you can stand on a leaf.
Yeah, like what? Come on,
vampire. Then why not?
What's a vampire?
Well, you've seen Ninja Scroll, the animation Ninja Scroll. Those ninjas did some amazing stuff. One of
my favorite
body, and so that's superheroes versus vampires, really. But regular folk,
right?
A regular pregnant woman against a vampire would get whacked.
That's why the same reason why you probably also like Blade, because he is a superhero and he ain't even full vampire.
Right, he's a superhero.
Got superhero level power.
Superhero
and it's rumors that he's coming back. He's like,
he's a full vampire. He's half vampire. He has all the powers of vampires. That's their strength, their speed, all of that. But he doesn't have their weaknesses. That's ridiculous too. That's like Superman. I mean, I love the Blade movies except for 3. But and he's back, of course. But he doesn't have any of their weaknesses, but all their strengths. Come on, man. So you basically have made the vampire just minions to get their ass whooped.
Would Baba want to see an old man Blade? That's the question.
Movie.
Yeah, I mean, shit. I love Old Man Logan.
I like that. I like that, Baba.
Blade.
And we saw, if you saw it, you saw it. The clip of the Blade that we saw, he looked pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
He looked pretty mother effing good.
Yeah, he could do it for sure.
And of course, people got to say, I don't like his new suit. He got to have a suit on for a 60-something-year-old man.
Right.
To look good. He couldn't wear the old Wesley suit.
Right.
It wouldn't look right on him. Obviously, there are changes in the body, but he looked good. So if you look at it, I have a picture of all of them. I won't give spoilers, but all those who getting ready to fight, who have come back, all the different cameo folk. And, they're standing in their positions, and it's the old Blade where, they're like this. Blade was always chin down. And so he's standing like that, and chin down was a fighter's position anyway. So and the way he's standing, I said, that's the old goddamn Blade right there.
He looked really good.
Yes.
You were saying,
I was just saying she's not really pregnant. I apologize.
Media was lying about retirement and her pregnancy.
I was duped. There was something else I was gonna say too. I think it was the old man Blade thing. But anyway, if anyone hasn't seen that thing that we're not giving spoilers to, make sure that you do, because it's good. Very well done. If you know what we're talking about.
The Egyptian fencer was 7 months pregnant. Okay, that's pretty wild.
Woo!
Nice. Oh yeah, you could see her. Yeah. It was
No wonder did that somehow psychologically.
The women's judo champion, it says here, the women's judo champion was 9 months pregnant when she won the gold.
Who? They don't say nothing about
the women's judo champion.
She flipping and throwing people pregnant out. She wild.
Wow.
But I wonder if it gave her opponents if it gave her an advantage being pregnant, her opponent psychologically didn't want to, you know what I'm saying?
Them folks don't care.
I know they ain't give a damn. They probably
repulse. See, they figure give them an advantage because they can hit her easy or something.
Her name was Nikki Wood. Say her name. Nikki Wood.
I would feel real bad to get whooped by a 7-month pregnant woman fencing. I feel real bad.
I'd feel real bad about getting beat up by a 7 month pregnant woman in anything. If she 7 months pregnant, I don't want to get beat up. I don't want to get beat in fencing. I don't want to get beat up by them.
Well, I tell you,
anything physical, I feel really bad.
Karen Long was undefeated kickboxer, and she fought this one woman, and it took her 2 rounds to beat her, and she was confused. She's like the Tyson of kickboxing, except if Tyson was a woman and white. But she's confused. Why did it take me 2 rounds to beat this woman? And she went to the doctor and found she's pregnant. Still whooped the woman's ass, but she was pregnant, and that's why it took her, instead of just seconds, it took her 2 rounds.
Fighting with child.
Why did it take me 2 rounds to whoop somebody's ass? Period. And then you're pregnant, and that's she retired because to raise her family. But that's Kathy Long. Kathy Long would run 10 miles of stairs with an aspirator in her mouth, keeping the ball. If the ball went down past a certain level, she started to run over again.
That's crazy.
We're talking about athletes on a different level. That's a whole different level than your average person. Your average person is not going to be able to do that level. And that's like those one in a lifetime that coaches be happy to get. My uncle coached 2 Olympic champions. In your lifetime, you're lucky to be able to do that. He coached Carl Lewis and Florence Griffith Joyner.
Oh, wow.
But you're lucky to be able to do that.
2 greats.
I want to, before we get started real quick too, I want to shout out, this kind of goes on when we was talking about earlier, survival. Shout out MIA. It's an artist, MIA. A lot of people might know about it.
Rapper?
Yep.
Rapper,
She got a clothing line that blocks Wi-Fi and 5G signals. So you can look into it, look it up. We can we don't have to get into the benefits of having clothes that, and the funny thing, they were showing that it's undergarments and everything, and you can actually like at the end of the night or whenever you want to, you can like use the jacket or whatever any article, that clothing you buy from her, you can use it, put it over your laptop or your cell phone to block out the frequencies at night when you sleep as well. So just shout out for her for doing something like that, for somebody, one of us doing something, just on that level of survival. So I appreciate that.
Actually, while we have the family's attention, if anyone has additional suggestions on how to block those signals, blocking 5G, if anyone's doing anything actively right now, please share the information.
Yeah. I got an EMF filter. That's pretty much the only thing I got.
Right. I remember you.
MIA, if you don't know, she's the one who does Airplane.
Right.
And it's another song. So
yeah, that's the most memorable one. Right. Swagger like us. Swagger like us.
I think it's called Airplanes.
You are correct, sir.
So we're about to get into it. So disasters come in many forms, and as a result, just as many or more injuries happen in those disasters. Okay. And there won't be any EMTs or doctors around or hospitals to provide care during a shit hits the fan situation. Whether we're talking about earthquakes, car wrecks, riots, police occupations, pandemics, blizzards, or torrential rains, there are a few injuries that you will see over and over again. A well-stocked first aid kit is essential in a disaster situation because when these incidents happen, seconds count.
Yeah, well, the quicker you're able to administer first aid to your loved ones, the better chance you'll have of making it through the day in one piece. So we're going to break down some of the most common disaster injuries you might face in a crisis, in the hopes that it will better prepare you, because if you don't know a thing, it doesn't exist. Before we dive in, a disclaimer. I am not a doctor. I can't speak for about no. We are not doctors. We highly recommend seeking out quality medical training to bolster your skills. We personally recommend Mr. Dexter Doc Peggins. We just saw him this weekend at our workshop. Of Steel Standing LLC, a combat medic in the Army for 23 years and an expert first aid instructor. If you're already injured, seek out experts like Doc Peggins or a medical professional. But we ain't them. We just know a few things.
First, let's discuss a few definitions. A sprain is a common type of injury that involves a stretching or tearing of ligaments, the structures that connect bones together within a joint.
The thing you probably do in your sleep, once you get past 40, you wake up and that's probably a strain right there. Good.
A sprain.
A sprain.
A sprain will be graded on the scale of 1 to 3 based on its severity. Grade 1 sprains are mild and involve only a stretching of the ligaments, while grade 3 sprains involve a complete tear in the ligament and usually require prompt treatment. Many sprains can be treated through immobilization with a splint to protect damaged ligaments. A strain is the result of stretching the muscles beyond their capacity or a direct blow to the area. Treatment for muscle strains can usually be done at home through rest, ice, compression garments, and elevation of the affected area. Anti-inflammatory medicines can be helpful in relieving pain.
A fracture is a break or crack in the bone that occurs when the bone cannot withstand outside forces, often as a result of trauma or disease. Fracture, break, and crack all refer to the same thing. I remember somebody saying to me, man, I ain't got a fracture, I got worse, I got a broken bone. Break and fracture are the same thing. Fractures can range from a small crack in the bone to a complete separation. They are often caused by a fall, motor vehicle accident, or sports injury. Normal activities can also cause fractures for people at a higher risk, including those with low bone density, which is called osteoporosis, bone tumors, cancer, or brittle bone disease, which is osteogenesis imperfecta. Some of the different types of fractures include stress fracture. A stress fracture occurs as a result of overuse. Because of repeated use, the bone becomes weak and cannot absorb the shock that is put on it. It is common in the lower leg or foot, and especially among athletes. Compression fracture. Now, so if you got shin splints, that's a stress fracture. A compression fracture occurs as a result of old age. People with osteoporosis are at high risk for this type of fracture because their bones lose calcium. The weakened bones, usually in the spine, can crumple under the force of gravity, and that's terrifying. Incomplete green stick fracture. This is young folk fracture right here. A green stick fracture occurs when the bone bends but does not completely break. Because if one of our bones bend, it's gonna break. This occurs more often in children who have high levels of calcium in their bones. Comminuted fracture. This occurs when the bone cracks into several fragments. It occurs as a result of high impact trauma or osteoporosis. A bone fracture causes pain, swelling, and sometimes bruising of the affected area. Applied weight or pressure causes even more severe pain.
I'm sorry, Bob. I wasn't trying to be insensitive. I don't know if you heard me.
No, I did it. I'm fine. To heal a fracture is usually a splint or a cast.
So do you know where a hairline fracture would be on this?
Yes. So people say hairline fracture. That's just a small fracture across. That could be a stress fracture, or it could be comminuted.
You told me that one time. I just wanted to.
Yeah, so you got to. So it's just across, like it goes across the bone. People say it's a clean break. They also call that stress a hairline fracture, clean break. Really, no such thing as hairline fracture. It's a fracture.
Right.
If that shit thin and don't go completely through, it's still fractured.
Right. They just made a name up.
Too much, that's why they split it. If you move it too much, it can completely fracture.
Right.
Where it's a complete separation and that. And so compound fractures, hairline fractures, they all fall within one of these. That actual names for the fractures.
Okay. All right. A dislocation is a separation of two bones where they meet at the joint. Used to happen to me all the time with my shoulder. This injury can be very painful and can temporarily deform and immobilize the joint. The most common locations for a dislocation are shoulders and fingers, but can also occur in elbows, toes, knees, and hips. The cause is often a fall or a blow, sometimes from playing in a contact sport. And I used to have it growing up in my elbow, and I would have to go to my mom. It would just go out of place, and she would just pop it back in place. And that's what I think, accidents being out of alignment or something like that, maybe.
Now, a serious dislocation takes longer to heal than a broken bone. Broken bones normally take 6 weeks. If you've got deep dafun, which you can, it's a paste you can only get from like Chinese herbalists.
Mm-hmm.
Deep dafun, you put it on, wrap it in plastic. It could take 4 weeks to heal. It lowers the healing time. A dislocation, it could take years.
Yeah, and if it can keep popping out of place, if you don't set it, it can be something to carry for a long time.
Now this, you can see how my fingers bent. That's broken and dislocated. It broke in the bone and dislocated in the joint, and so it's permanently deformed like that. Because when I told the doctor I needed it done, she said, "You waited too long to come in, so we got to break it again to set it." I said, "You got to break my bone again." I said, "You put me to sleep?" She said, "No, we're gonna put your hand on the." I don't know if she was trying to be funny, but I left. We're gonna put your hand on the table. We're gonna use a hammer. And I said, "You're gonna hit my shit with a hammer?" And so I left. I'm like, "No, I just deal with this."
So do you wish you would have probably stayed now? Probably thinking, huh?
No.
Nah.
I want her to slam a goddamn hammer on my finger. No.
That's wild if she would have did. Real quick, Emmanuel Briggs said practicing the fireman's carry or ranger carry should be a part of your injury preparedness. Also, it should be a part of your training in some type of way. Definitely.
It should, but me, fireman carry right now, somebody?
Yeah, Bobby ain't doing it right now.
He means carrying somebody who's injured.
Right.
I thought I read that wrong. I thought he meant me. It should be a part of my injury.
Sir, no, sir. And
he said it's part of my injury healing, but fairness, yes.
Right. And shout out to you, Baba, because if you've ever been in our class long enough to have taken a test, if you took a couple of them, you definitely done the fireman's carry, the range carry, and a few other kind of carries with people and in very stressful situations. So
who may or may not have weighed far more than yourself.
Yeah.
My former I still call him my son-in-law. My former son-in-law, he's a combat medic. And he can, so a person laying down there hurting, you got to move them. He can run, dive roll, catch them, come up with them on his shoulder and run.
That's how I used to pick up women all the time, Bob.
All right.
In the club. Sorry, that was too good.
When you didn't know, you say, "Hey, who's cute?" You.
Strike it down, like, yo.
You caveman, I can carry you. You know, the only person I carried like that, A sister was when I was at leaving the club, and this drunk sister said she was an MMA fighter, and one dude really set her up. He's like, "Well, he's a martial artist. I don't think you can beat him." I said, "Hey, man, don't do that." And she's drunk. She said, "Man, I can." And she's throwing punch. I said, "Hey, stop punching at my face." And so she's punching. I said, "Where's your car at?" I'm, parrying. She says, "It's over there." So as soon as she says that, I shoot and pick her up, and I carry her ass to her car. And like, you let me down. Like, get your ass in your car and leave me alone. Go home. You shouldn't really be driving because you're drunk, but you definitely don't need to be punching at dudes in the street.
I remember the person said that's scooping up a date for real. Right. I used to scoop the ladies, but
scooping them.
Anyway,
all right.
The most common injuries that take place during a disaster, whether man-made or natural, are lacerations and puncture wounds to the limbs. The limbs account for somewhere around 64.6% of all wounds during a disaster. Gunshot wounds, explosions, falls, and fast-moving debris affect us during a disaster much more than during normal times. Blood loss is one of the leading causes of death in the immediate aftermath of a disaster. A full 90% of fatalities happen before a medic can arrive on site, and half of these deaths occur from hemorrhage. Of these people who bleed to death, roughly 10 to 15% do so from arm or leg wounds. Tourniquets are handy to have. If you can stop a bleed, you have the ability to potentially save a number of lives. The keys to this are threefold: proper training, tourniquets, and compression. Blood clotting agents could also be considered as well. To start with, you need to know what to do. For this, we recommend checking out, again, Doc Pagan's Stop the Bleed class. And his organization is called STEEL Standing, STEEL Standing. Also, the value of a tourniquet can't be understated, so buy several. Also, the value of a tourniquet can't be overstated, so buy several. Also, purchase battle dressings, which are fantastic tools that can keep a constant 30 pounds of pressure on a wound until professional medical care can be reached.
Another common injury is lacerations and puncture wounds to the torso. So we talked about to the limbs, just to the torso. A metal pipe impaled through somebody's stomach, a gunshot wound to the lung, a stabbing in the back. These are all common injuries in the aftermath of a disaster, during a disaster. As Ominiki already pointed out, blood loss is a very real threat. The victim will require prompt professional medical attention. However, there are things you can do in the meantime to help ensure they make it to receive that attention. Knowledge of how to stop a bleed is still vital. We further encourage you to seek training on how to apply a chest seal. Doc Pagans also teaches that. He's taught us. We've taken the Stop the Bleed class. Because you can't put a tourniquet on the box, the chest, the back.
Right.
So you got to use seals. Okay. And they have some seals that clot the blood immediately, so you can get those chest seals. We'll probably bring Doc Pagans on here again to teach on specifically chest wounds, or maybe tourniquets and chest seals, talking specifically about those things. So knowledge how to stop a bleed, once again, is vital. Should somebody end up with a gunshot wound to the chest or some other form of puncturing of the chest wall, this could help save their life. So we deal with stop the bleed. If you got it in your leg or your arms, tourniquets are used if you're bleeding from an artery, right? If you're bleeding in your chest, in your stomach, in your back, those all require chest seals. You can't put a tourniquet there.
Yeah, well. Next is shock. While several types of shock exist, the most severe comes from blood loss. Given that hemorrhage is one of the chief reasons people die during disasters, it follows that shock will be common in such an environment as well. Not electrical shock. Shock occurs when there's lack of blood getting to the organs. If shock isn't taken care of quickly enough, the result can be death. Lay the person down and elevate the legs and feet slightly, unless you think doing so may cause pain or further injury. Keep a person still and begin CPR if the person shows no sign of life, such as not breathing, coughing, or not moving. Loosen tight clothing, and if needed, cover the person with a blanket to prevent the chills. If the person vomits or is bleeding from the mouth and no spinal injury is suspected, turn the person to the sides to prevent choking. Don't let the person eat or drink anything, and don't move the person unless it's absolutely needed.
Fire goes hand in hand with disasters. Equipment explodes, bombs go off, and spontaneous fires break out. On top of this, you have the potential for high pressure steam scalding people and chemical burns as well. There are a number of treatments available you can use to assist somebody until they get the appropriate help. Burn gel, burn wraps, and even aloe vera can be used to treat burns. Adding some of these treatments to your first aid kits, adding some of these treatments to your first aid kits and go bags would be very helpful. Vinegar is also really good for burns and something that's readily available in a lot of places. Do not put butter on a burn. Butter contains oils that trap heat and can cause more damage. Do not use toothpaste either. Toothpaste often contains menthol, which may feel cool at first, but doesn't help the burn and will cause infection. If you've been putting ice on burns, stop. Ice can irritate burn skin and cause a cold burn. Finally, don't put mustard, egg whites, mayonnaise, lavender oil, or emu oil on burns. You're not making a sub. You're trying to heal and soothe the burn. A lot of people use toothpaste because it has eucalyptus in it. Eucalyptus is good for burns.
So what is emu oil? I always wondered.
Oil from an emu?
Is it oil from an emu? I didn't want to really say that.
Oil. It may be emu fat. I don't know, but I don't know emu. I've heard of it.
Anybody knows? Let us know in the chat if you know what emu oil is.
But I hope it's not oil from an emu. That would be gross.
I mean,
you've seen grosser.
I mean, yes. Out of all the bones in your body, your nose is the most likely to break. I've had a traumatic break in my nose that was straightened out by my baba. Kicking it and knocking it back in place. But I don't recommend you try that if your child has a broken nose. Okay? You got to know really what you're doing. Whether we're talking about taking a fist to the face, getting thrown onto your face by a fall or explosion, or having a falling brick bust you in the face, the nose is liable to have a bad day. And we'll deal with front falling one of these episodes and how you should always turn your face when you fall, because this sticks out further than anything when you fall. And so it'll get broken now.
That show gonna suck for me. Go ahead. That show gonna suck for me. When you pointing out, you see how the track. I gotta make sure. Hold up, you start talking for a minute while I'm still like.
I can't be here that day. whatever day that.
So the front fall is not comfortable, but hey, we all need to learn. I have a student that saved his life when insulation fell and hit him and knocked him down, and he turned, and it kept hitting him, and the side of his head hit the ground. You could take that, but if it hit in the front, it'll crush his face.
knowing how to fall in road has saved a few students.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to shout out to myself. I'm the only one who has ever been able to demonstrate a front back fall in class. I don't know if you remember, Baba, but it was quite brilliant.
Did you? Well, I threw you and you did a front back ball?
No. No, you just asked me to do a front back fall, so I did.
One of those questions that you asked before the people supposed to look at you and she asked me.
I'm thinking about a front back ball. I was being crazy and silly on that day. Front back ball. That's dope. I'm thinking front side ball. Oh, shit, you did a front back ball. That's dope.
It was a front back fall. It was amazing.
Maybe you can demonstrate it for us here.
I can't be here that day. We've already established that.
There's not a lot you can do for a broken nose other than keeping the head elevated, using an ice pack, and seeking out professional help. That ice pack can really help with the pain, though. When you seek out professional help, they can't really.
They're gonna say, it's broke.
It's broke, right? They tell you it's broke, and they'll say, elevate your head and use ice. The exact same. But seeking professional help make you feel better. So go ahead and
go ahead and do it. Y'all know y'all like to see the folks.
That ice. That's why that ice pack can really help with the pain, though.
That's what
because that's what they're gonna tell you too. Please wear gloves if you're helping somebody with a broken nose, because they're notorious for getting massive amounts of blood everywhere. I mean, everywhere. So a broken nose will bleed. If you wake up and your nose is bleeding, that's not a broken nose.
No.
If your nose is broken, just know too, if somebody breaks your nose, immediately start covering, because you can't see. Both your eyes are going to either tear up badly or close.
Yeah.
So I'm talking like close, like swell up. So start covering yourself, because what follows that hit there is hits everywhere else. So start covering, or try to run the best you can. Okay.
Running from my older cousin in his house, and I'm looking to see if he's coming close while I'm reaching for the screen door, and my hand goes straight through it, and I fall, and my head hit where the screen is cut out at right at the bottom. Boom, right there. Broke my nose. Immediately, it didn't swell up, but my eyes watered to where I couldn't see for a second. All I could do was just cry.
I had a student who's proven to be a government agent. I don't know if he was sent to do something to me, but he's proven to be that, so he's no longer my student. Okay. But he hit me in my nose. We were training, just some light training, energy drills. Energy drills, you're not actually trying to hit the person. You're getting close, but you're not trying. Right. And he, at one point after I did them, he slapped my hand down hard, boom, hit me in the nose. But he really didn't know me, because we had never been in that physical. So he seen me do physical work on other bugs. So when he hit, boom, boom. I know I can't see, so I hit him, boom, in his eye, and it closed that shit. He fell, boom, he was out, right? And I'm like, this motherfucker. This is in my living room. I told my other student, get him out of here, man. Damn, I'll talk to him later. And they took him out. Dragged him out because he was unconscious. And they said when he woke up, he was like, take me to the hospital. Take me to the hospital. Because I had screwed, now he's an artist, visual artist. I had screwed his eye up. And it's still not where it should be from what I understand. But I put him out after that. Well, I started researching him after that because I suspected something. It had long been talked about, and that was the clincher. So I did some investigation and found out indeed he does. So put him out of class, and from what I understand, he can't do things as well as he used to because one eye is not functioning the way it should. And he broke my nose. He broke my shit, but I permanently damaged his shit. So we even Stevens. It's cool.
It's a shame he had to get his eye messed up to see things clearly.
Bingo. Bingo. And the same I had to get my nose broken to smell a rat.
That was a Bush McBill line a little bit, chopped and screwed a little bit, if y'all ain't know. All right, so
all right, cool. That's cool. All right.
Gravity isn't very friendly during disasters of any kind. It brings avalanches downhill. It causes buildings to crash to the earth. In any of these cases, people become crushed under tons of rubble. Some will survive the initial impact, but become pent in place by concrete slabs, boulders, steel beams, and other heavy objects. If this pressure stays on the person for long enough, they will develop crushing syndrome, where massive amounts of protein leach into the bloodstream, leach into the bloodstream by the damaged muscle. Eventually, this results in kidney failure. The best you can do for a victim of crushing syndrome is, 1, stop the bleeding, apply direct pressure, cover the area. You can use wet cloth or bandage. Raise the area. If possible, raise the injured area above the level of your heart. Immobilize the injuries. If you suspect a head, neck, or spinal injury, immobilize the area. Limit movement. Only move the crushed area.
People's heads are prone to all sorts of injuries, and during a disaster, you might suffer a number of things that could result in a head injury. Falling down a stairwell, hit in the head with bricks, a baseball bat, a karate kick, or a sledgehammer, and concussive blast from explosions. One of the consequences of such can be a concussion. When the brain is injured by a sudden blow or jolt. Most people fully recover from these, but the immediate aftermath is filled with brutal headaches, mental fog, dizziness, and potentially blurred vision. To care for a person with a head injury, first, have the person rest without moving. Leave them in the position found while waiting for EMS or a medical professional, if those are available. Second, have the person stop the activity they were doing. Third, continue checking them as appropriate to determine if additional care is needed. Fourth, care for any other injuries according to your level of training.
Hey, don't be doing no surgery, It's not the time for that shit.
5, keep them from getting cold or overheated. 6, give care for shock if necessary. So remember what Belay talked about as far as shock goes. And then lastly, watch for changes in condition, including breathing and responsiveness, and give care as appropriate.
Now, if you experience any kind of water-based disaster, drowning is going to be one of the chief injuries that you see, like in Katrina, when you had all the flooding.
I just want to say, I don't understand why nobody from where I'm from, you from Wilmington, North Carolina, you from the beach area. I don't understand y'all black folks that's from the beach and stuff here don't know how to swim. I don't understand that.
Yeah, it's now I know a lot of people in Atlanta can't swim because Atlanta is
landlocked, right?
But I would say, landlocked or not, learn to swim.
Yeah.
To graduate from high school, you have to be able to swim. My sister Lisa, now me and my sister Phyllis can swim. My sister Lisa did all kinds of tricks to not get in the pool and learn to swim. I'm like, Lisa, but she used to want to be a marine biologist. I said, Lisa, you got to learn to swim. Why do you boys swimming? Afraid of getting in that water, afraid of it. I'm like, well, you got to get over the fear of it, because if you ever have to swim, you're in trouble.
Yeah, so man.
I can swim only good enough to save my own life, right? So I want people around me to know how to swim because I can't save nobody else, to be honest. Mm-hmm. I can save you in many other ways, but not swimming. So learn to swim, you all.
Especially, and yeah, I just wanted to say that because for some reason people become adults and then they just be like, "Oh, I can't swim." Okay, well, just learn how to swim. Are you ashamed to learn? Like you still walk and run.
They're afraid to learn.
You still know how to exercise. Like learn to swim. Stop being. I don't understand that.
And I will say also, sadly, as far as a lot of women who look like me go, sometimes
that hurt.
Sometimes it's and it's not just swimming, it's interacting with nature in general, interacting with your environment in general, because so many things about you are unnatural. I'll just put it like that. It becomes more difficult for you to want to get out into the water, for you to want to get out into nature in general. So like swimming, if you're paying all this money to get your hair a certain way, swimming is a nuisance.
Right.
Trying to get in the water like that is
physical.
The bigger
nuisance.
The bigger nuisance? Drowning and dying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Was a bigger nuisance than those
dying and sweating out your
eyelashes.
My eyelashes be the die for Baba sometime. I don't know.
Now if you got the BBL, that may help you float better. I don't know. That may be better for you.
Something in there though. Something. Oh yeah, I guess they have to.
Okay, we gotta change this up because I just thought about when you talk about BBLs. I just thought about doing stuff, augmenting the body. I just showed her Serena Williams. I'm so disappointed. I just want to say, we'll shout out. Don't get that when you get any type of touch-ups, just so y'all know this. Say if you just want a little touch-up in your eyebrows, right? Little Botox, whatever, little what they call it, face fillers. All the fillers, if you get it here, you get it here. No matter where you get it, they move to the middle of your face and distribute evenly after a while. That's why everybody gets stuff in their face. You see their face get flat and fat. Little Kim face look just like Serena face look just like Michael. They all gonna look the same.
God. And they all like if you. I'm sorry.
We're way off subject, but I just
let me say this real quick before I get back to this. And I got to leave out at 3 really, but if you got a person that is taking steroids, like a lot of these professional athletes, you telling them about don't use filler don't mean shit. Because they already using drugs that are killing them in the first place.
But they don't know the after effect is the thing. They don't know.
It's funny. Nobody's talking about, everybody got something to say about this woman who boxing, she's intersex, she's a transsexual, is really a man. She got some. First of all, people become real big scientists and shit. But the thing you're not talking about is a lot of these athletes, particularly women who are boxers, look like dudes because they're taking steroids. Nobody's talking about the steroid issue.
Because it's big business.
Drug that is transforming your body, a drug that is damaging to you. And when women take steroids, it's permanently damaging. Men take steroids, stop, we can go back to normal. Women never go back to normal. Wow. There are women who've taken steroids who have 7-inch long clitorises. That does not change when you stop because your body is not made to have that much steroid production. And so that doesn't go back to normal. So just don't avoid the steroid conversation either because that's damaging. But when you talk about these people who do steroid, like these athletes like Venus and Serena and all these other baseball players and folks, Sammy Sosa, why is Sammy doing the color? Sammy takes steroids, so why would it be such a stretch that he's doing bleaching too?
They just showed what's his name, the boxer, Deontay Wilder. He like a shell of himself, man.
Really?
Yeah, he like a shell of himself. He looked like I don't even want to say.
Hold on a second. Just leave it. All right, so
let's keep
the best help you can offer somebody if they're drowning is to get people out of the water fast, but make sure you're safe. because people start panicking. So, and perform prompt CPR. My grandfather rescued a dude who was drowning. He knocked the dude out first because the dude was panicking. So people were like, well, why'd you knock him out? He said, because he would have taken me under too. He knocked him out, then they pulled him into the boat and then saved his life. Otherwise, people they panicking, they ain't trying to kill you, but they can pull you down with them. We recommend signing up for a Red Cross or American Heart Association CPR course. Now, this ain't a commercial for Doc Peggins. He's just this good. Again, get with Doc Peggins to get yourself trained and certified like we are in CPR.
And he travels, right?
Huh?
He travels, right?
Yes. So, yeah, he travels throughout, and that'll be said later too. But yeah, so he's available to travel. You bring him to your town, and he can certify you. And if you don't want to get certified, which is weird, but you can also get trained. Also, keep a CPR mask or face shield on your key ring or in your go bag to protect yourself while performing CPR. So you said, well, I want to put my mouth in their mouth. You can use the CPR mask or the face shield. You put it over their face and you blow into so your mouth isn't touching their mouth. Okay.
My mom was drowning when we went on vacation. It was me, her, my aunt, and her son. And everybody thought she was waving. She was in a pool.
Wow.
And she slipped and fell. And so we all we on the other side. So she's like way out there. So my aunt waving at us, like, look at your mama, look at your mama. So she would come up, wave, go back down, come back up. I'm looking at her face. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like 9 years old, and she didn't come back up. It's like she did it 3 times, and then she went back down. I just felt it, and I dived in and got her, and I didn't even think about it. I was 9 then, and I didn't have no formal training, but just growing up, country swimming all the time, I just got her. And she always talk about that because it's funny because my cousin really didn't, my aunt really didn't know, or my cousin. So my whole point is pay attention too.
Yes.
Because you may not, you out there, you got your children, especially the beach is super distracting and super hard to keep count when it's packed up. But the pool can be just as much so. So just make sure you're paying attention. You got who you with, you looking out there.
And do this either. You make it, first of all, if somebody's waving, I'm not thinking saying hello and they came with me or look at me. So I'm thinking they're in danger. But that should be a conversation you should have. Look, nobody, if you're waving, we're figuring you're drowning. So don't just wave, say, look at me. Okay.
Yeah, that don't make sense for a grown woman to be.
That's the signal for help, not, hey, look at here. That has to be taught so that people know. So your people, that, they're not saying, look at me. Yeah, if it's somebody you don't know, like right now, I'm looking out at the lake in the back of my house. If somebody go,
you ain't got to stunt like that. You ain't got to.
I don't know them. I ain't stunting. That's why I hesitate to even say it. But if somebody is waving in the water over here, I know they ain't waving them and saying, "Look at me." I don't know them, so I'd be like, "Excuse me, y'all." I wouldn't put it on mute. Now I would be stunting in. I turn the camera around. Y'all see me jumping there and pull them out.
Lord.
But if they start panicking, you see me hit them with an elbow and swim away.
I know that's right.
I can't say I don't have that skill. I wish I did, but so make sure you get with Doc Peggins, not on the swimming, but on the CPR part, and get with somebody in your town learn to swim. Now it's crazy. Nobody in this suburb where I live at has a swim class. We just checked into that because we were gonna put Yalagon, Yemi, and Okikiola in a swim class. And there are no swimming instructors in this suburb. I
need to come through there and get some cake.
Man, you can't because nobody. even though they got the pool here at Lake Spivey, which does this lake here, but they have a pool at the recreation center. Nobody's teaching. You can get in there and swim.
Wow.
You can make a killing.
Shoot. Till I get a bunch of customers on me wanting to teach them. Nah. They're like, y'all, we know how to do is backstroke. What's up? We ain't learned nothing else.
Right. The breaststroke and the knee stroke, and you like, what? Yeah, you feel like this. That's not the way Michael Phelps did it. Michael Phelps doing it wrong.
All right, okay. So Emmanuel Briggs, because you are a frequent flyer, we're gonna answer your question. Quick question. I know this is off topic, but how hard should sparring be?
How hard should it be? It's real hard if you get with somebody that know what they're doing. Like what's his name? From New Jersey. Let's go, champ. I thought his name's Emmanuel Briggs. Hey, that may be him right there. Let's go, champ. Or if you get in the ring and spar with Tyson, it's real hard. But if you spar with, say, the old lady up the block, the nosy old lady from across the street, it's probably easy to spar with her. So you say, how
so in
hard?
other words,
depending on who you pick.
Call and response. Know who you're getting in there with.
You mean how brisk?
Hard should you go at it?
How brisk should it be? Brisk enough where you don't want to get hit, because you got to learn to slip, to cover, to shoot under strikes and throw. If it's just tippy tappy, dude's not, woman, whoever, they're not responding to it realistically.
Right.
So it should be realistic enough where both of you move for real, but not so realistic that you do permanent damage to a person. So when we spar, we don't spar with gloves, headgear, cups. I tried to get students at least to use cups, and they just rejected it. They wouldn't. It's uncomfortable. I don't like it. And really, if I'm not doing it, they ain't doing it. And I ain't wearing a cup.
If we have a uniform,
I used to wear a cup. I used to wear it outside my pants because they chafe like hell. And
if we have a shirt, I wear street clothes.
Who?
If we ain't have a shirt, your uniform, I wear street clothes, because we trying to simulate what it's like out there. Nobody don't want to be.
And if you wear jeans on that too, and we'll get back to it, Belay, because it's 250. But if you wear jeans, if you're wearing tight jeans, it does limit how you can defend yourself. Just so you know.
If you make a habit of it.
I've had on some tight jeans that I can't even salute properly. So imagine
if you're a man and they too tight, it's gonna limit your sperm count. That's what's gonna limit.
You may not care about that, but you do care about, goddamn, you get taken down on your back and you can't even hold a person in your guard.
No, that's for real though. Seriously, them tight pants can really mess you up.
You can't throw a knee because your leg can't lift up. Hell no. So get yourself something loose enough to move in, y'all. Think about the clothes you buy. Think about your safety and survival also when you're even getting your clothes.
Our first uniform, we had slacks and button-ups. That didn't work good because the slacks
and 2-inch heels for men and 6-inch heels for women. That didn't go over too big.
No, that didn't go too good. Okay. So dirt, lack of sterile dressing, and lack of medical care can all lead to infection. Infection can be big when the folks ain't around. Pain, redness, warmth, and swelling are the main things to keep an eye out for here if you have a wound during any type of disaster situation. A little antibiotic ointment goes a long way. Thankfully, there are items you can carry in your EDC or is that IFAC?
IFAC. So I started to bring my iPad down here. That's a full first aid kit.
Okay, because I was about to say I don't have an iPad, but maybe I do.
I think the I means individual first aid kit or something. I can't. We need Doc to let us know if Doc you in there. But
Jump,
I
jump,
got
jump.
the full kit.
Yeah. Okay.
And Doc Tegan sells iPads.
And EDCs.
EDC, I've got an EDC kit and I've got an iPad kit.
As I do as well. I have the EDC kit. So you thankfully there are items you can carry in your EDC or IFAC or medical kit that will help ward off infections. Triple ointment and golden seal are great for fighting against infections from cuts and abrasions. Our mothers and grandmothers always told us they were right. If you're allergic to neosporin, polysporin is an alternative. Is an alternative. I can't talk right now. Alternative. Thank you. What just happened to me?
Alderman. Alderman polysporin. What do you think about?
I said neosporin. I can't say alternative. That's crazy. If you use golden seal, a paste or tea can be put on the wound after it's cleansed with saline water or clean water if no saline is available. Then cover the wound with a bandage or gauze pad. Golden seal can also be drank to help the body fight infections and can be poured into your eyes to fight pink eye. But don't use it over a week.
Yeah.
7 days.
And then you're getting fungal infection because it kills bacteria so well. It also kills the good bacteria that fight off fungal infections. So you can get yeast infection and stuff like that.
That's why you don't want to take too many steroids either, people, just so you know.
Disasters.
Well, want to get real big, you take much steroid.
Right.
Disasters often leave people without shelter and at the mercy of the elements. Furthermore, some injuries, such as burns, leave a person more susceptible to the cold. It is because of all this that hypothermia is a very real threat to people, even in the summer. To care for a victim of hypothermia and getting medical help is slowed. When getting medical help is slowed or prevented. Move to a warm room or shelter. Remove any wet clothing from the victim. Warm the center of the body first, chest, neck, head, and groin, using an electric blanket if available, or warm compresses.
I ain't seen an electric blanket in a long time. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Use skin-to-skin contact under loose, dry layers of blankets, clothing, towels, or sheets. Also, like as Belay mentioned, you don't see electric blankets, but you do see like the heating pads more frequently. So that might, if there's electricity, that might be something that you might be able to find and use. And it's also something that you could fit inside of a bag if you want to have that as a part of your kit. But provide the victim with non-alcoholic warm beverages, but no alcohol, to help increase body temperature. Do not try to give beverages to an unconscious person. Keep the person dry and wrapped, including the head and neck, in a warm blanket, even if the body temperature has increased. Stay with the person until medical help arrives. Do not use direct heat, such as hot water, a heating pad, or a heat lamp to warm the person. Excuse me.
Don't cook them.
Do not give the person alcohol. So, Baba, even like the heating lamps that look like the electric blanket.
Yeah, so do not use direct heat. If you use a heating pad, you can put a sheet between that.
Right, up under. Okay, that's what I was saying.
It doesn't burn the skin, or because hypothermia, if you put heat on that and burn that same way, if you got to burn, don't put ice on it.
Right.
You can increase the damage. So you have to put a barrier between. And we keep stressing, do not give the person alcohol because they show that in movies all the time.
Right.
Give them alcohol when they cold. Give them alcohol when they do not give the person alcohol.
Only when you're sure that they're going to die in this situation. Mm-hmm. It's the only reason you give alcohol.
You want to see their death, go ahead.
Right.
At least they die, buzz.
Exactly. Or if you got to kill them, then you drink something before you do.
Right. Oh, yeah, you drink alcohol because they dying. Messing you out. All right. Finally, whether it's from a heart attack, electrocution, hard impact to the heart, drowning, or something else, cardiac arrest can be a huge problem post-disaster. And that's nothing on drowning. Most people don't realize drowning, your lungs burst, and you often have a heart attack. That's what's taking you out of here. Proper CPR training is a must for this, and stroke. Proper CPR training so don't drown. Take classes, folks.
That used to be my greatest fear is somebody cuffing me to the bottom of a pool. I can only go to right. I used to have that kind of nightmare.
Wow.
Sorry.
Proper CPR training is a must for this. It's an incredibly easy to learn skill, and it's used on a daily basis to save lives. Again, find a local Red Cross or American Heart Association course, sign up and learn this skill. Once again, get with Doc Peggins. Here in Atlanta, you can get with Doc Peggins easily, or fly him to your city to train you and your organization.
You might as well fly us too if you fly. No, I'm not going to.
You might as well learn. You learn how to save the person, but somebody may want to attack you while you doing the CPR. So hey, bring us too. First class flights only. It's one of the most important medical skills you can have. Is learning CPR, which helps avoid cardiac arrest. Okay. And they can come in many ways. If you feel, they talk about tightening in the chest. So I've had cardiac arrest. Okay. Heart attack. If you feel a tightening in your chest, that could be indigestion. They could be many things. If you feel a tightening in your chest and you feel like your arm is broken, your jaw feel like you want to just pull apart, you're heading towards a heart attack. Those are, people never talk about those signs. Man, your arm feels like my arm gonna break out of nowhere, and you got a tightening in your chest, you're having a heart attack.
You don't get that with the panic attack, do you? I think the panic attack is just chest pains.
It's the chest pain, yes. The TMJ pain and the arm like it's breaking pain, that is a clear indicator.
Okay.
And I've been to 2 times I've had heart attacks. Both times, same thing. The heart hurts, whoo boy, but there are many things that can make that hurt. Like you said, panic attack. But my arm, I'm like, oh shit, my arm like it's gonna break. As soon as I said that, they put the nitroglycerin under my tongue because they know.
It's funny because you see people have heart attacks and their arms are off. Their arm are often straight like that sometimes.
Because they hurt like a mug. That's what they're doing.
That's interesting.
And then you'll see this too.
I thought because it was
the jaw's hurting.
Okay, I thought you was doing cocaine. I didn't know.
Well, because they're about to come up and have a heart attack too. That's like, yeah, because they had to have a heart attack.
I want to think, hey, we good, man. We know how much crap to talk, how much shit to talk, and right at 3 o'clock we go. I want to praise you though, Baba, because you organized and set the whole the talking up. But man, we do good at the beginning of knowing how to dance with this thing, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I like us.
So, because my wife was down here, we got to leave as soon as the show done. I'm like,
she trying to be on time somewhere.
Yeah. Now, as soon as I go upstairs to change, she's gonna, be on the phone.
She's gonna take 45 minutes to leave after she says she's ready.
Right. So
if she hear me, I don't believe that she'll do that. First of all, if you're listening, y'all I do not believe you would do that at all.
She's listening upstairs, so she gonna make
sure. I
don't
believe that y'all do. I'm with you. I'm on your side.
No, so that's all part of the plan. Because now she's really gonna leave on time. Because trying to prove something. All right. So y'all be careful out there.
Yeah.
One big takeaway is contact Doc Peggins. Look him up on Instagram. Still standing. Steel, STEEL. Standing.
Find swim lessons in your
or
area.
Dexter
Yes.
on Instagram. I think you can find him there. And every week he does videos on survival and preparedness. He brings in guests on Instagram live. So look up Doc. Tell him we sent you. We ain't getting paid nothing extra for this, but
There you
he's
go.
my comrade. So our comrade, and he's also in our organization. So
Still Standing LLC or stillstandingllc.com.
yes,
You can check them out there.
yes. And be safe out here.
Yeah, bro.
If you can get with an instructor, and even better, an instructor and organization, survival organization in your city, do so. If you're here in Atlanta Metro, you can get with the Urban Survival and Preparedness Institute, of which I am the co-chair, and we'll get you straight. So be safe. Love y'all. Stay black, whatever it is you may be. My daughter up there crying, so I'm going to go check on her. Love
You about to
y'all.
pick up?
Peace.
Hey, Bob. Oh, excuse me. Stop yet. I was about to say some shit.